Hey, shalom, shalom, shalom. Hold on just one second. Let me adjust the volume here. All right, shalom, shalom, shalom. This is Naaman of the DC camp, a branch of Great Millstone, back for another video. But first and foremost, let's get this copyright disclaimer out the way. Copyright disclaimer under Section 107 of the Copyright Act of 1976. Allowance is made for fair use for purposes such as criticism, comment, news reporting, teaching, scholarship, and research, which of course is what I'm doing. Fair use is a use permitted by copyright statutes that might otherwise be infringing. Nonprofit, educational, or personal use tips the balance in favor of fair use. All right, so here we go. You know how we always try to tell you that, especially you Jakes. Now bear in mind, this, what appears to be an Edomite, has given the good old USA 20 years of his life in service and in defense of his country. And what happens? If you remember the oath, for those of you that did serve, all right, it didn't say to swear allegiance to a foreign nation. It says to the United States of America. You're to defend it against enemies both foreign and domestic, all right? Which, when you think about it nowadays, yeah, because it's your own people, your own politicians that have sold you out. More and more division. Wow. 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 But in any case, once again, call halal Yahweh by Shem Yahushua by Shem Kahokodash. Double honors go out once again out to the elders, apostles, elders, and bishops. Apostles, bishops, and elders of Great Millstone who were well. Salutations also go out to the fellow Akim that are out there on the highways and byways, pushing the truth across four corners of the earth. All right. Now more so than ever because, hey, time is growing short. So also all the videos that are uploaded. All right. A lot of people were drawn in by those videos. That's a big part of this because you don't have to take, flights across the world. I'm not going to call any names, you know who you are. The internet does the heavy lifting. All right, that's what it's for. Use it. It's a tool. But in any case, this is how a lot of, Akim and Akwath have woken up to the truth. But in any case, let's get back to this. So here it is, this sergeant here, he's in the Army. And he was called in, I guess, commanding officer. Well, let's just let him tell it.
So after 20 years of service in the military, yesterday I got pulled into an officer's office and counseled for a post that I have on my social media. During the counseling, they told me I'm under investigation as a threat to national security. When I asked for proof, like what the posts were yesterday, they refused to give it to me. They made me come back today to further go over stuff. They gave me the proof, and the proof they gave me are anti-Israel posts. Now, when I joined the military, I took an allegiance to support the United States of America. I did not ever take an allegiance to support Israel.
Can you see now? For those of you that, I don't know, you're a little dense, all right? You can't believe that this is actually happening in America. Let's get some of the comments. Retired Air Force here. I stand with you, sir. Stand tall, Sergeant. You are on the right side of history here. Thank you for your courage on putting this in the air for all of us to see. Child of a World War II vet here. If you want to know who is in control, it's who you are not allowed to criticize. Land of the free until you wake up and challenge their agenda. The traitors are the ones accusing you. Army vet here. When we joined, we took an oath to support and defend the Constitution of the United States. As you stated, you don't owe allegiance to Israel. Stay strong, brother. Can you see this just constantly brewing? Let's get some of the 153 replies. Uh-oh. So, big shot, as a member of the military, you take orders. You do not have the choice which order to follow. Thank God you are not in the service. Uh-oh. Response: you are speaking diatribe. Israeli government psychopath. When you sign your name, you surrender your life to America's agenda. They broke you all down to be programmed. Weapons. Following orders will always be following orders. When Trump has all of you firing on innocent civilians and rounding up your own family, you will either be following orders or a national security threat. Good luck to us all, and may God have mercy, whichever God you follow. Oh, division. Mark 3rd chapter, division, division, division. Stay in your lane. In response, stay in your lane. You know nothing. All right. Do you believe what's being said about record recruitment? I find it hard to believe. All right. No one should believe anything coming from this administration. A lying president has everyone around him lying. And if they don't, you know what happens. So no, everyone has a right not to believe. All right. Let's see. All right. When you join the military, don't you also have to support the military policies of the U.S.? I get the personal conflict, but if you were called to some kind of crisis in the Middle East, or as they call it, Western Asia, wouldn't your protest views be relevant? Could your fellow troops trust you to do your job? By the way, you are not alone in needing to censor what you post. I worked in education for over 35 years. There are things I believe but could not post without there being some kind of repercussion for my job. How much more so should this be true in the military? They lied to y'all. In your defense, U.S. soldiers have a legal duty to refuse orders that are clearly unlawful, such as those that violate the U.S. Constitution or international human rights standards. Considering that Israel is an ally, I don't see anything wrong with voicing your concerns about violating international standards such as genocide. See? This is letting you know who's the big bully and who's actually running things. All right? But this is you Christians' fault for not realizing what was going on because, let's face it, with all that's been going on in another less than 2 weeks, it'll be 2 whole years since that crap happened over there with that, reported attack by Hamas. And everybody just stood around with their hands in their pockets knowing that these people were fucking lying their asses off. All right. And when King BB comes over here, who's really the boss, everybody's, kissing his ass. Because these are the people that run this world. And they really, really want to do away with this Constitution. All right. Yes, AIPAC, that lobby group, interest in Israel, has been, this has been going on for, my goodness, a long time. This has been in the works for a long time, even before Kennedy. All right. But the fireworks were set off really during his administration because he wanted them to register. and they didn't want to. And a lot of that had to do with the um, uh, nuclear weapons inspections and things of that nature. Because but of course he had to go. Now they'll, you know, have this thing with, well, there was all kinds of reasons as to why he could have, plausible deniability bullshit, But I think if you look into the spring, early summer of '63 and what was going on between him and the Israeli government, namely David Ben-Gurion, who at the time was the prime minister, and then with him messing around with the Federal Reserve, and that he was trying to, let's look at real quick. I can pull it up. Okay, let's see. Let's see, order 11112. There it is. All right, real quick. Executive Order 11110 was issued by President John F. Kennedy on June 4, 1963. Now, this is during the same time that it was really hot ongoings between Kennedy and Ben-Gurion, and Ben-Gurion would end up abruptly just resigning. It says, allowing the Secretary of the Treasury to issue let's see, where did I leave off? To issue silver certificates under the Thomas Amendment of the Agricultural Adjustment Act as amended by the Gold Reserve Act. The order allowed the Secretary to issue silver certificates. I used to have one when I was a teenager, and I didn't know what I had. Damn. It was, instead of the green seal, it's blue. Yeah, I remember that years ago. The order allowed the Secretary to use silver certificates if any were needed during the transition period under President Kennedy's plan to eliminate silver certificates and use Federal Reserve notes. Let's see. Here's a theory. It says, Jim Marrs, in his book Crossfire, presented the theory that Kennedy was trying to rein in the power of the Federal Reserve and that forces opposed to such action might have played some part in Kennedy's assassination. Marrs alleges that the issuance of Executive Order 11110 was an effort by Kennedy to transfer power from the Federal Reserve to the United States Department of the Treasury by replacing Federal Reserve notes with silver certificates. Author Richard Belzer named the responsible parties in this theory as American billionaires, power brokers, and bankers, working in tandem with the CIA and other sympathetic agents of the government. Critics of the theory note that Executive Order 11110 was a technicality that only delegated existing presidential powers to the Secretary of the Treasury for administrative convenience during a period of transition. So, from this point here forward, remember, June 63, these motherfuckers have just gained more and more power. They're, at this point, having elected officials removed if they don't like them. 2 Jakes were removed, what's it been, a couple of years ago now? Bowman and what was the other one? I believe they had something to do with, because she did an interview, what was the one from Georgia? McKinney? Yeah, her. They were behind getting her removed. She was really outspoken. She was about her people, for the most part. In politics anyway. All right. Oh, we can't have that. So here, if they're screwing over their own like this, what do you think they're going to do with you, Jake? You don't get it. This was never, as the scripture says, this is not our rest. All right? We should treat this as, again, the scriptures say, as my man in the Chronicles of Riddick said, I'm just passing through. take care of your responsibilities, whatever have you, but your mind should not be consigned to, hey, this is it. This is it. This is all I'm ever gonna, be as far as, your place. I'm gonna continually be in America forever. No, this place is done. And while you're in this grace period, you should be trying to get yourself right with Yahweh B'Shem Yahushua. For you Jakes, you people that have finally understood, that you are Israelites. Fuck this place. Working towards that. Because all these signs in the heavens and these scientists are saying now that no, this is something, this is not, I'm talking about this celestial event that's happening. And then you have, I think it's something else coming in here that's going to meet up with this one, the current one. What is it? Oh man, I forgot the name of it. Atlas. 3i Atlas. And they're saying, well, now it's like 9 separate vessels like have separated from it and that are like moving alongside with it. So when you look at the thing now, you've got 9 different points at least. It's like, well, damn. These people are mighty nervous now. All right, so hey, this is prophecy. This is what it was, said what would happen. And Jeremiah 10 tells you not to fear those things. And in fact, let's get that. All right, not to be afraid of the signs of in the heavens, because the heathen, that's what's running. It says idols and living God. All right. Hear ye the word of the Most High Yahweh speaketh unto you, O house of Israel. Not speaking to anybody else. Verse 2, thus saith the Most High Yahweh, learn not the way of the heathen, and be not dismayed at the signs of heaven, for the heathen are dismayed at them. And you see it. You see all these hearings, and you can hear the fear in these motherfuckers' voice. Especially when they fired that Hellfire missile, and it just bounced off. It didn't even activate. It just bounced off. All right. And would it knock loose? Just kept on going. And they were like, oh, shit, that's a Hellfire missile. Meaning you ain't got nothing, no type of defense for what's coming. All right. So, like I said, this is going to be a short video. Let's see what else he's got to say here.
Israel. But yet, I am deemed a threat to national security because I do not support Israel and their genocide against the Palestinian people.
Which everyone at the UN agreed that that's exactly what it was, genocide, except for the United States that put up his hand. Why? Because of them folks. They run the show here. Don't you be fooled.
Yes, you heard that right. I am deemed a threat to national security because I don't support Israel's genocide against the Palestinian people. Since when does not supporting a foreign nation get a U.S. soldier investigated for being a threat to national security? So after 20 years of service...
So there you go. He's deemed a threat to national security because he won't go along with the wholesale slaughter for those people over there who can't defend themselves. But again, I will say this is you Christians' fault. You have no idea what you're really worshiping. And they exploited you to the fullest. They used the fuck out of you, stupid ass Christians. They don't even like, in fact, they detest you. Well, better you than me. But in any case, I hope whoever views this has been edified, because, hey, we're at a critical juncture here. And it's going to be all out war. I mean, civil war. All right, because people are tired. I mean, them folks are tired. We've been tired. Ain't nobody give a fuck. But now that they feel what we've been feeling, oh yeah. Trust me, it's not going to take too long. That's why I always tell you to be circumspect out here. All right. They just issued a warning about being in large crowds. I'm watching Dabu 7. All right, so with that, until the next video, hey, shalom.